This is the Juicy Good Life, the greatest hits of personal and business growth, packaged for you in a time that's shorter than your shower. I'm Sarah Stokes, and here are your strategies for stress and success. Hello, and welcome to the Juicy Good Life. I am Sarah Stokes, the founder of the Juicy Good Life, and I'm happy to talk to you today about my favorite #1 piece of business advice and life advice that I have ever received. I get asked this question all the time if I'm on a panel or if I'm out and about and there's a up and coming young woman or business owner or young mom, like, what is the best advice you have for me? And here it is. It's thanks to my best friend and my actually family doctor, Dr. Jody Rich. About 5 years ago, when I was totally fried and burned out, she said, "Sarah, you cannot pour out of an empty pitcher." And it was exactly what I needed to hear at the time. And since that time, I have heard it, told you can't pour out of an empty vase, or you have to fill your cup first. And all of it leads to the same process. You have to put your air mask on first, right? Your oxygen on first, just like the flight attendants tell us at the beginning of every single flight. Now, I remember vividly a time in the early 90s when a woman went on Oprah and she talked about nurturing her marriage and herself first, and America freaked out at her. I mean, freaked out at her. She took such a beating for saying she would possibly look at her marriage before her children. Well, I think fast forward a couple of decades and we've gotten smarter about that. It wasn't that she would ever ignore her children, obviously. Children will not be ignored, first of all. If you're a mom, you know that, like, impossible. But what she was saying was, if that's not intact for her, if that's not whole for her, then nothing else works. And what I'm saying through this you can't pour out of an empty pitcher concept is, what are we going to be able to give to our community, our spouse, our children, our businesses, our clients, our friends, our family, if we are empty and out of gas? We're not going to be any good to anyone. And what ends up happening is we get sick, or we manufacture reasons, like subconsciously, to be out of commission for a while because we're just tapped out. And so thankfully, with the rise of the boss mom movement and the Rachel Hollises of the world, bless your hearts for bringing this to the masses. It's okay for you to be whole first. And that doesn't mean you don't take responsibility for your things at home or in your office. Obviously you do. But here's what it does. It does mean. So many of us cannot answer one simple question. What do you want? And I almost want to cry thinking about it, because I was asked that question by the same process we have our Juicy Good Life members do with this life wheel, this picture of your life, a life assessment. And it was a life coach who really was working through that process with me. And she said, "Sarah, what do you want?" And I had no idea. I'm smart. I am independent. I am pretty darn good at advocating for certainly the needs of others. I thought it was not even a problem for me. But I could tell you what my kids wanted, what my husband wanted, what my parents wanted, what my friends wanted, what my community groups wanted. And I sat there stumped. So I'm going to stump you and say, what do you want for you? And I'm talking about a little bit of self-care. Have you gotten one yet? Maybe it's a pedicure. Maybe it's a nap. Maybe it is just going to Target by yourself. Maybe it's taking a shower by yourself. It depends on what age, if you have kids. Sometimes you don't even get a bathroom break to yourself. So I finally came up with my answer, and it was going to a movie by myself. And that still 5 years later is going to make me cry, because it was so simple, but I hadn't done it for myself in so long. I had been sacrificing sleep and my own well-being to make everything run at home. My pitcher was truly empty. So this wise life coach said, okay, give me a date by which you are going to finish this, and you're going to go to a movie by yourself. And so I'm going to give you a second to do that very same thing. Write down a date for whatever it is you chose and make sure you complete it by then. Because had I not had that deadline, had I not had an accountability partner of sorts, I don't think I would have done it, because here's how that went down. I walked through my office on the day before the deadline, and I saw all the people working around me, and I had such guilt. I knew I needed to go to that movie by myself. I had picked out which movie it would be. It was a Nicholas Sparks movie, total chick flick. I had already imagined the Milk Duds, and the popcorn and how delicious it would all be, how juicy it would all be. And yet I froze in the office. I did not know what to do. I'm partners with my husband at the time. He's supportive, but I was going to sneak out in the middle of a day and go to a movie by myself. I had no idea how badly I needed it, and I had no idea how hard it would be for me to walk out those doors. I grabbed my purse kind of like a thief in the night, and I walked through the office, hoping no one would notice I was taking off at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think they all know I work hard, but still. I went to my minivan, and I drove to the mall parking lot where our movie theater was. And I cannot tell you how much of an urge I had to go get groceries instead. Ridiculous. And then I was thinking maybe I should hit the bank and I should go here and I should go there. And I was like, Sarah, go to the movie. That's how empty my pitcher had become. I didn't even know how to do this one simple thing. And I imagine you're a lot like me. Depends on where you are in your life. But if you haven't put yourself on your calendar first, you need to right now, because I can tell you I finally got out of my van and went into the movie, and I bawled my eyes out at this cheesy chick flick, and it was amazing. And I couldn't believe I waited that long to fill my pitcher. And that's all it took, was a 2-hour movie, some Milk Duds, some popcorn, and the guts to go ahead and do something for myself, just by myself. So you can too. It's time to put yourself on the calendar, because if you don't, it won't happen. So give yourself a deadline, put something on the calendar, or do something small in your life that will just add up to a fuller picture, because you will be amazed at how much more loving you can be with your family, how much more productive you can be at work, and just how much more of yourself you will bring to this world when you finally start filling up that pitcher. So I am so excited for you. This will be a momentous thing for you if you feel burned out. You have no idea how much this will mean to your life. Everyone around you will start to notice that you are back. Maybe you won't cry as often. Just do something to fill your pitcher. Sleep 20 more minutes this week. Something. It's going to add up to a Juicy Good Life. And then you can come back and check out more of our Juicy Good Life strategies, because I can tell you that movie theater being my pitcher filling exercise has transformed into Jamaica and Belize and all of these things that I've been able to really give myself permission to do, and it started with a movie. So I can tell you from experience, no matter where you're at in your life, this will be a turning point for you. So thank you for making the world a better place, and I hope you have a juicy good day.